way. They don't have any belief in anything, any constitutional body of this country. They are criticizing our honorable president. They are criticizing our electoral system. They are criticizing everything. This is the mindset of, generally this is the mindset of extreme left. And now Congress, I don't know why, being a nationalist party, Congress was designated as a nationalist party, but they are following the route of extreme left.
By stating that election commission is not taking look into the malpractices, do you really believe that, by stating these things, they're trying to divert the vote attention as well?
Actually, they are losing election one after another, so that's why they need something for their worker, because the moral of the Congress workers and the opposition workers are really at the bottom. So that's why they are trying to create some alibi. So this is the reason, nothing else.
पे काला निशान किसी हालत में मत लगवाना, उसका मतलब है अगले दिन आप वोट डालने नहीं जा पाओगे। इनको किसी को पता नहीं चलता अंदर। दूसरी बात, आम आदमी पार्टी ने बहुत बड़े स्तर के ऊपर ये सारी गुंडागर्दी रोकने का इंतजाम किया है। पूरे दिल्ली के अंदर जगह जगह झुग्गियों में स्पाई कैम और बॉडी कैम दिए जा रहे हैं। बॉडी कैमरा होता है जिससे पता चल जाए, जिससे सारी रिकॉर्डिंग हो जाती है। स्पाई कैम हो जाता है छुपा हुआ कैमरा होता है, स्पाई कैम जासूसी कैमरा होता है। ये सारे कैमरे जगह जगह पूरे दिल्ली के झुग्गी बस्तियों के अंदर और गरीब तबकों के अंदर बांट दिए गए हैं। वॉलंटियर्स को, कार्यकर्ताओं को और समर्थकों को दे दिए गए हैं। अगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी कुछ भी करती है तो तुरंत वो कैमरे के अंदर रिकॉर्ड हो जाएगा और इन लोगों के ऊपर हम कार्रवाई करवाएंगे। पूरी दिल्ली के अंदर मीडिया की कई मीडिया वाले हैं जो देश से प्यार करते हैं। ऐसे मीडिया वाले तैयार हो गए हैं, झुग्गियों के अंदर जाके रात को कई मीडिया कर्मी सोएंगे, वहीं सोएंगे और रात से वहाँ से लाइव टेलीकास्ट होगा। अगर बीजेपी के गुंडे कुछ भी किसी भी तरह की बदमाशी करते हैं तो वहाँ से लाइव टेलीकास्ट किया जाएगा। कई मीडिया हाउसेस से बात हो गई है, वो तैयार हो गए हैं। बाकी मीडिया हाउसेस से भी मेरी निवेदन है कि पूरे देश के हर लैंग्वेज के सारे टीवी चैनल दिल्ली पहुँचें और दिल्ली पहुंच के हर झुग्गी बस्ती के अंदर अपनी अपनी वैन खड़ी कर दें, अपने अपने लोग खड़े कर दें, एंकर्स खड़े कर दें, अपने अपने पत्रकार खड़े कर दें, ताकि इनकी गुंडागर्दी को और बेशर्मी को उजागर देश के सामने उजागर किया जा सके। पूरे दिल्ली के अंदर हमने ढेरों क्विक रिस्पॉन्स टीम, QRT बनाई है दिल्ली के अंदर। वो टीम तुरंत 10-15 मिनट के अंदर आपके यहाँ पहुँच जाएगी और इन लोगों को गैर संवैधानिक, गैर कानूनी काम करने से रोकेगी, गलत काम करने से, पाप करने से इन लोगों को रोकेगी, इनको गिरफ्तार करवाएंगे। नमस्कार।
Arvind Kejriwal speaking right now, and remember that today is the last day of campaigning ahead of those crucial Delhi polls. Aam Aadmi Party's Arvind Kejriwal was speaking there and saying that Aam Aadmi Party is moving towards a historic victory. So this is what he has said. Remember that we have to be making sure that a lot of updates are coming in, as it's the last day of campaigning and all the parties are putting their best foot forward. Now, this is coming in as we have also exclusively spoken to the former Union Minister and BJP leader Smriti Irani. Let's listen in.
प्यार बच्चों से भी मिल,
महिलाएं हों या बच्चे हों या बुजुर्ग नागरिक हों, मोदी की गारंटी जिस संगठन के साथ है उस संगठन को जनता का प्रेम ही मिलेगा।
इस बार जो बीजेपी का सूखा है वो साफ हो जाएगा।
मैं इतना ही कहूँगी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जनता ने विश्वास के साथ धरातल पर इतना मजबूत किया है, वही विश्वास 5 तारीख को रिजल्ट में फलीभूत होगा। मैं जनता को आभार वंदन करती हूँ कि उन्होंने नरेंद्र भाई को इतना सम्मान, इतना प्रेम दिया।
मैम, महिलाओं का सपोर्ट भी मिल रहा है। कहते हैं कि महिला जो होती है वो साइलेंट वोटर भी होती है।
नहीं, महिला अब साइलेंट वोटर नहीं रही है, महिला बढ़ चढ़कर विकास के समर्थन में बोल रही है। मुझे इस बात का बहुत गौरव है कि भारत की राजनीति में महिला को वोटर के नाते एक भारतीय गवर्नेंस में नरेंद्र मोदी ने केंद्र बिंदु बनाया। वर्षों वर्ष तक हमने सुना था कि महिलाएं सिर्फ किसी और के संकेत पर, परिवार के संकेत पर अपना वोट देती हैं, लेकिन महिला हमारे देश के लोकतंत्र की एक अडिग और बहुत ही अभिन्न हिस्सा है। उसको मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं नरेंद्र मोदी ने पॉलिटिकली साबित भी किया, और महिला उत्थान और महिला के माध्यम से राष्ट्र का विकास, यही नरेंद्र मोदी की सबसे बड़ी भारत के लोकतंत्र को धरोहर है।
एक और सवाल, चुनाव आयोग को अरविंद केजरीवाल कह रहे हैं कि चुनाव आयोग जो है वो तो कुंभकर्ण हो गया है। ये
अरविंद केजरीवाल की हार का सबसे पहला और बढ़िया संकेत यही है कि अब वो बौखलाकर चुनाव आयोग के ऊपर प्रहार कर रहे हैं।
Intensifying battle for Delhi is thrown. A key Indie party, TMC, extended its support to the Aam Aadmi Party as Shatrughan Sinha joined Delhi CM Atishi in a rally at Kalkaji. The TMC leader showed wholehearted support for the party. Watch a report to know more on this.
As the race to Delhi reaches in its conclusive phase, Trinamool leader Shatrughan Sinha was seen endorsing the Aam Aadmi Party as he shared stage with Delhi Chief Minister Atishi.
देखो, गुंडों के मुंह नहीं लगते, ठीक है ना, लेकिन जब वो आए धमकी दें तो सोच लेना, वो कहेंगे कि वो आपको कहेंगे कि झाड़ू को वोट दिया तो देख लेंगे। आप सोच लेना, 5 तारीख को हम तुम्हें देख लेंगे, झाड़ू का बटन दबा देंगे, गुंडों को भगा देंगे, पैसे दे देंगे तो ले लेंगे, लेकिन वोट देंगे, वोट देंगे, वोट देंगे।
Sinha, a key leader from the Indie bloc, rallied for AAP amid the ongoing rift between Congress and AAP that has only intensified against the backdrop of the Delhi election. While Sinha was all praise for party convener Kejriwal, he lauded the AAP, calling it a tried and tested party. Meanwhile, the BJP engaged in an all-out war of words against AAP in the capital, joined by Assam CM Himanta Sarma and Rajnath Singh. A fierce battle between two heavyweight contenders, AAP and BJP, today marks the last day of campaigning. While the AAP is trying to lodge itself for a third term in the national capital, BJP is trying to recapture Delhi after 27 years.
All right, viewers, getting you some more updates coming in next segment, Bharat, in 2 minutes. Acharya Swami Giri Maharaj of Juna Khada had led the processions for the third Amrit Snan of Mahakumbh on the auspicious occasion of Basant Panchami.
भारत की कालजयी सनातन संस्कृति पूरे विश्व को परिवार मानती है। मैं विश्व कल्याण के लिए स्नान करने निकल रहा हूँ। भारत का योग, आयुर्वेद, स्थापत्य, वास्तु, भारत के दिव्य जीवन मूल्य पूरे विश्व को आकर्षित कर रहे हैं। आज सशक्त भारत के लिए, समर्थ भारत के लिए और शिक्षित भारत के लिए मेरी डुबकी रहेगी।
Jagdeep Dhankar has called upon the youth of India to take a proactive role in safeguarding national interest and countering anti-national narratives that undermine the country's progress. He also flagged concerns about issues like illegal migration and demographic changes affecting electoral politics, stressing that these are collective challenges the youth must address. The high-octane campaign for Delhi Assembly polls is set to conclude today, with all major parties making a last-ditch effort to woo voters. A campaign which lasted for over 3 weeks saw intense battle between Aam Aadmi Party, BJP and Congress. Aam Aadmi Party led by Arvind Kejriwal is seeking to retain power, while the BJP is eyeing a comeback in the national capital. The Congress, which has been struggling to regain its foothold in Delhi, is hoping to make a significant impact. Report of the Joint Committee on the Waqf Amendment Bill is slated to be presented in the Lok Sabha today. According to the list of business, Jagdampika Pal, chairman of JPC on the Waqf Bill, along with BJP MP Sanjay Jaiswal, will present their report on both Hindi and English versions of the Joint Committee on the Waqf Bill.
इस बिल को एक्ट बनना चाहिए और बहुत जल्दी बनना चाहिए इसको कानून। सालों साल से आप देखिए क्या कुछ हो रहा है इसमें। इतनी शर्म आती है सोचकर कि इन्होंने सिर्फ और सिर्फ कौम की बात की है, लेकिन कौम के कुछ लोगों ने लगातार इसको जिस तरह से हड़पा है जमीन को, और जिस तरह से एक धांधलीबाजी उसमें चल रही है, उसमें रिकॉर्ड्स नहीं है, उसमें पता नहीं है कि कब कौन सी चीज रजिस्टर हुई है, कब वो बेची गई है, तो अपने आप में बहुत गंभीर मुद्दा है और बहुत जरूरी है वो।
Coming up, US Congress announces the formation of a 8-member committee, the Empowered Action Group of leaders and experts to oversee the ECI's handling of polls. Stay tuned as we keep getting you top updates.
Creating a world using sapphire to power change. Manufacturing semiconductors by resident Indians. India, pushing boundaries of possibility and innovating a brighter tomorrow. Semiconductors from India, now from Polymatic.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
पेज का रिपोर्ट है। 114 पेज के रिपोर्ट में मुख्यतः जो बातें कही गई है, मैं उन कुछ बातों को आपके सामने रखना चाहता हूं, आपसे साझा करना चाहता हूं। इसमें कहा गया है कि देयर हैज बीन अ नोटेबल इंक्रीज ऑफ मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन बिकॉज ऑफ इलीगल माइग्रेशन फ्रॉम बांग्लादेश एंड म्यांमार। बांग्लादेश से जो बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठिए हैं और म्यांमार से जो रोहिंग्या आ रहे हैं, उसके कारण से एक नोटेबल इंक्रीज, बढ़ोतरी हुई है मुस्लिम आबादी में दिल्ली में।
और जो शब्द प्रयोग किया गया है वो कहा गया है कि देयर इज अ चेंज इन द डेमोग्राफी ऑफ द सिटी। दिल्ली शहर के डेमोग्राफी में एक चेंज आया है। आप सोचिए, यह दिल्ली आज से 10 साल पहले, आज से 15 साल पहले जो दिल्ली था, आज वो दिल्ली नहीं है। चोरी चोरी, चुपके चुपके हम जान नहीं पा रहे हैं। दिल्ली की डेमोग्राफी बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठियों के कारण और रोहिंग्यान्स के कारण बदल रही है, जो कि एक खतरे की सूचक है। और ये खतरे की सूचक कैसे है, यह इस रिपोर्ट में पूरी तरह से बयां की गई है। हर एस्पेक्ट का चर्चा किया गया है। उसमें कहा गया है कि सोशियो इकोनॉमिक फ्रंट पे बहुत बड़ा बदलाव आ रहा है, और खास करके कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर और जो लो पेइंग जॉब्स हैं, उसमें एक प्रतिस्पर्धा, उसमें एक कंपटीशन शुरू हो गया है। जो कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर कल हमारे पूर्वांचली भाई होते थे, हमारे हरियाणा से आए लोग होते थे, दिल्ली के लोग होते थे, हमारे उड़ीसा से आए कई लोग यहां प्लम्बर का बहुत अच्छा काम करते हैं, हमारे केरल के भाई यहां आते थे, और यहां कई सब लोग कंट्रीब्यूट करते थे दिल्ली को आगे बढ़ाने में, तभी दिल्ली बनी। सभी का कंट्रीब्यूशन रहता था, हर स्टेट के लोग यहां आके कंट्रीब्यूट करते थे, और मुख्यतः हमारे पूर्वांचली भाइयों का बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन रहता था। मगर उनके काम में सेंधमारी करना, ये जो बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठी और ये जो रोहिंग्या आए हैं, गैर कानूनी तरीके से इन्होंने उनके काम में सेंधमारी कर दी है। जो काम हमारा पूर्वांचली भाई करता था, दिल्ली का मूल वासिंदा करता था, जो उड़ीसा का मेरा भाई करता था, अब धीरे धीरे वहां रोहिंग्यान घुस गए, बांग्लादेशी घुस गए। जो पैसा मेरे बिहार के भाई को जाना चाहिए, जो पैसा मेरे बिजवासन के भाई को जाना चाहिए, जो पैसा मेरे मोती नगर में रह रहे भाई को जाना चाहिए, या उड़ीसा से आए हुए मेरे भाई को जाना चाहिए, वो पैसा अब रोहिंग्यान और बांग्लादेशी मुसलमान ले जा रहा है। ये कहा है कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस इन द वर्क एटमॉस्फेयर। सबसे भयावह बात जो इस रिपोर्ट में है, मैं तो संक्षेप में बताऊंगा, मगर एक डिटेल इस पे प्रेजेंटेशन, और वो है पॉलिटिकल पैट्रोनेज। ये सारा कुछ पॉलिटिकल पैट्रोनेज के कारण हो रहा है, अर्थात कुछ राजनीतिक दल इसको बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं, पैट्रोनेज दे रहे हैं। यहां लिखा है पॉलिटिकल पैट्रोनेज प्लेज अ क्रूशियल रोल allowing the steady influx of undocumented Bangladeshi and Rohingyans. अनडॉक्यूमेंटेड, ये जो बांग्लादेशी और रोहिंग्यान आ रहे हैं ये अनडॉक्यूमेंटेड है, कहीं डॉक्यूमेंटेशन नहीं है। और इसमें पॉलिटिकल पैट्रोनेज और पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, खास करके आम आदमी पार्टी का, कांग्रेस पार्टी का तो ये सालों से धंधा है, मगर ये जो आम आदमी पार्टी है इसका एक क्रूशियल रोल है, उसकी एजेंसीज बनी हुई है। और आगे इसमें और भी भयावह बातें लिखी गई है। इसमें लिखा गया है कि हाउ द पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज एंड देयर accomplices, उनकी जो बाकी पार्टियों के साथ जो जुड़े हुए लोग हैं, ये कैसे फेक वोटर रजिस्ट्रेशन को फैसिलिटेट कर रहे हैं फॉर दीज माइग्रेंट्स। इनके लिए फेक, ये बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठी और रोहिंग्यान के लिए फेक वोटर बनाना, रेजिंग कंसर्न्स अबाउट इलेक्टरल इंटीग्रिटी एंड डेमोक्रेटिक मैनिपुलेशन। मतलब ये फेक वोटर बना करके ये बांग्लादेशी और ये रोहिंग्यान जो हैं ये हमारे इलेक्टोरल सिस्टम को डिस्ट्रॉय कर रहे हैं, डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं। इसमें यह भी लिखा गया है, गौरतलब है, इसमें गौर फरमाइएगा कि क्रिमिनल नेटवर्क, जो क्रिमिनल क्राइम दर, उसमें भी बढ़ोतरी के लिए, उसमें भी कंट्रीब्यूशन, ये जो घुसपैठिए हैं, ये जो बांग्लादेशी हैं और ये जो रोहिंग्यान हैं, इनका एक बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन रह रहा है क्राइम में। तो यह भी एक ऑर्गेनाइज्ड क्राइम सिंडिकेट बन रहा है जिसको कि पॉलिटिकल पैट्रोनेज, जैसे आम आदमी पार्टी का पैट्रोनेज प्राप्त है। यह जो रिसर्च हुई है, ये जो डॉक्यूमेंट मैंने आपको दिखाया, बहुत सारे रिसर्चर्स ने मिलकर किया है और इस टीम को प्रोफेसर मनुराधा चौधरी लीड कर रही थी और उसके साथ ही सीनियर प्रोफेसर्स ऑफ टाटा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सोशल साइंसेस, TISS, टाटा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सोशल साइंसेज, उसके भी जो सीनियर प्रोफेसर्स हैं, ठीक ऐसी ही स्टडी उन्होंने मुंबई में भी की थी, महाराष्ट्र में भी की थी और अब वो स्टडी दिल्ली में भी हुआ है। और इसका पूरा विवरण इन बड़े लोगों ने, ये जो प्रोफेसर्स हैं, ये काफी अध्ययन के बाद इन्होंने इस विषय को आगे रखा है। आप देखिए, एक मैं इसमें से पैराग्राफ पढ़ता हूं। Illegal immigrants to Delhi has significantly altered the city's demographic landscape. Demography को change कर दिया. With a large influx of migrants from neighboring countries like Bangladesh and Myanmar, these migrants often settled in overcrowded neighborhoods such as Silampur, Jamia Nagar, Jakir Nagar, Sultanpuri, Mustafabad, Jafrabad, Dwarka, Govindpuri and many more, where they strain resources and disrupt local social cohesion. वहां वो रिसोर्सेस को भी स्ट्रेन करते हैं और वहां पर एक ऐसी स्थिति उत्पन्न करते हैं जिससे वातावरण में हमेशा उष्मता और एक भड़काऊपन रहे। कहीं न कहीं ये बहुत चिंता का विषय है। इसमें आगे यह रिपोर्ट कहती है कि इनफॉर्मल नेटवर्क है, ब्रोकर्स हैं इसमें। पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का तो पैट्रोनेज है ही, इसमें इनफॉर्मल नेटवर्क ऑफ ब्रोकर्स है और रिलीजियस प्रीचर्स, कुछ ये जो मौलवी इत्यादि हैं, इनका भी रोल बताया गया है कि जो इनफॉर्मल ब्रोकर्स एंड रिलीजियस प्रीचर्स एंड मिडलमैन फैसिलिटेट द इन्फ्लक्स ऑफ माइग्रेंट्स, प्रोवाइडिंग देम विद फेक आइडेंटिफिकेशन डॉक्यूमेंट एंड अंडरमाइन लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एफर्ट्स। उनको फेक आइडेंटिफिकेशन की डॉक्यूमेंट, ये पार्टीज और ये जो रिलीजियस प्रीचर है, इनके बीच में एक तालमेल है और ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स देते हैं, उनको आइडेंटिफिकेशन कार्ड्स देते हैं और इस प्रकार से पूरे दिल्ली की डेमोग्राफी को बदलने की एक चेष्टा हो रही है। मैं आज आपसे अपील करता हूं, इस रिपोर्ट को आप लोग पूरे डिटेल में पढ़िए। मैं तो रिपोर्ट को पढ़ रहा था, मैं उदाहरण के लिए एक पेज आप देखिए, मैंने अंडरलाइन भी किया है, कैसे बैंक अकाउंट खोल दिया है। इतने स्ट्रिंजेंट नो योर कस्टमर्स होने के बावजूद भी, KYC रूल इत्यादि होने के बावजूद भी, लूप होल्स ढूंढ करके कितने लोगों ने बैंक अकाउंट्स खोले हैं, इसका पूरा विवरण यहां पर दिया हुआ है। और किस प्रकार से, यहां एक पेज देखिए, रैंडमली मैं पेज खोल रहा हूं कि किस प्रकार ऑक्यूपेशन ऑफ इमिग्रेंट्स, जो ऑक्यूपेशन है, ये जो बांग्लादेशी और रोहिंग्या आते हैं तो हमारे लोगों को कितना कितना नुकसान हुआ है, उसका भी एक टेबल पूरा यहां प्रस्तुत किया गया है। ये सारे विषय में एक चैप्टर पूरा ड्रेन ऑन पब्लिक रिसोर्सेज और ओवर क्राउडिंग, अर्बन प्लानिंग नहीं हो पाती है। हमारे लोगों के ऊपर जो कॉलोनीज में रह रहे हैं उनके ऊपर और बर्डनाइज्ड करने की ये बांग्लादेशी और रोहिंग्यान के कारण वो और बर्डनड हो जाते हैं। और ऐसे लोगों के प्रोटेक्शन आज अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनकी पार्टी कर रही है, मुझे लगता है गंभीर मामला है। अगर इसी प्रकार बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठिए और रोहिंग्यान के कारण दिल्ली की डेमोग्राफी और दिल्ली के चरित्र में बदलाव आता रहेगा तो वो दिन दूर नहीं जब एक अशांत वातावरण दिल्ली में बनेगी। इसलिए वोटिंग करते समय सावधानी से वोटिंग करनी है। कौन लोग बांग्लादेशियों को और रोहिंग्यान को प्रमोट करते हैं, कौन वो लोग हैं जो सीएए के खिलाफ तो नारे लगाते हैं मगर रोहिंग्यान और बांग्लादेशियों को लाके यहां पे सम्मानजनक तरीके से बसाते हैं, ये आम आदमी पार्टी के नीति को हर कोई जानता है, कांग्रेस की नीति को हर कोई जानता है। सोच समझकर अपने बच्चों के भविष्य को बचाने के लिए वोटिंग करें। धन्यवाद।
आपके कोई प्रश्न? इस बात का उल्लेख है क्योंकि दिल्ली की बॉर्डर पे बॉर्डर से लगती नहीं, बॉर्डर भी कहीं नहीं, किस रास्ते से आते हैं? जी, इस रिपोर्ट में आप अगर देखेंगे तो एक डेडिकेटेड चैप्टर है कि किस प्रकार से बॉर्डर से लेकर यहां तक लाने के लिए मिडलमैन है, किस प्रकार से पूरा एक तंत्र इनका बिछा हुआ है और उस तंत्र में किन किन का रोल कैसा है। क्योंकि बड़ा रिपोर्ट है, 114 पेज का है, प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में इतनी सारी बातें नहीं हो सकती है। जब ये रिपोर्ट सार्वजनिक किया जाएगा, और मैं आपसे निवेदन भी करूंगा आप भी इसका अध्ययन करें, पूरा लेखा जोखा है। और इसमें चौंकाने वाली बात है कि हर स्टेप में पॉलिटिकल पैट्रोनेज है। जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज होती हैं, जो अपीजमेंट की राजनीति करती है, तुष्टिकरण की राजनीति को बढ़ावा देती है, उनका एक बहुत अहम भूमिका रही है। Mr. Partner, does this report provide the number of any number about how many of that infiltration that may have happened, and at the same time, what is the total resource drain that may have happened?
They have projected an estimated number. They have also projected as to how the drain in resource is taking place with detailed study in various sectors. What are the resources and how these resources, water, dwelling units, roads, etc., all these are resources, and how these resources are undermined by the illegal immigration from Bangladesh and Rohingyans. So how they have undermined these resources, there is a detailed study, there are tabulations, graphic representation also in this report. It's a, I would say, a well documented 114-page report.
Mr. Batra, is there any particular information about the number of these immigrants?
See, particular number, because I have also not come across particular number, but they say that the numbers are such that the demography of Delhi is changing. They have taken areas as, I would say, sample units where they have seen as to how the demography of that area has changed. So seeing one unit, they have extrapolated results in many other areas also, which I believe is a very scientific way of conducting a research. Rest, when you go through the research, of course, you will get more to report on, more to know about. Thank you.
All right. Speaking there, Sambit Patra, he was speaking about the JNU report. Has made a couple of points there. He has said that the report says that there is a change in socio-economic front because of immigrants. He's referring to the illegal migration issue, which we have seen in Delhi has led to a lot of these illegal migrants being deported from Delhi NCR. And Sambit Patra was speaking about the undocumented Bangladeshi and Rohingyas, the report on them, which is a 114-page report released by JNU. All right, we will now move ahead to some of the other stories that we are tracking here on Republic TV. Congress announces the formation of an 8-member committee, the Empowered Action Group of leaders and experts to oversee the ECI's handling of polls.
They are criticizing everything. This is the mindset of, generally this is the mindset of extreme left. And now Congress, I don't know why, being a nationalist party, Congress was designated as a nationalist party, but they are following the route of extreme left.
BJP takes on Congress after it forms panel to oversee the election commission. Is the Congress conceding even before Delhi votes? PM Modi to reply on President's address tomorrow at 5 p.m. and in Rajya Sabha on Thursday.
इसको डिस्टर्ब करना ये अच्छी बात नहीं है। अब जनता आपको सवाल पूछेगा कि आप सदन में क्यों आए हैं। आपके आग्रह करने के बाद भी इस तरह का डिस्टर्बेंस करना ये अच्छा नहीं है। सरकार की तरफ से मैं खंडन करना चाहता हूं।
Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju warns opposition, says Parliament proceedings must not be disrupted. And BJP Aam Aadmi Party in Congress in war mode as Delhi enters the last day of campaigning. Breaking up, Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest. This Monday, the Congress has set up an 8-member committee, Empowered Action Group of leaders and experts to monitor the conduct of free and fair elections by the Election Commission of India. Getting you the latest response from the CPI, which has rallied behind the Congress. Listen in.
Congress yesterday, later in the evening, has set up special committee to monitor the Election Commission of India, which is the independent body. How do you look at this?
It is true. The Election Commission of India is an independent constitutional body, and it draws mandate from the very constitution. It means what? Election Commission should ensure free and fair elections. Election Commission should ensure level playing field to all the political parties and candidates. But what we are witnessing, Election Commission, instead of remaining neutral and upholding the code of conduct and the fundamental principles of our democratic practice, Election Commission look at one party in one way, look at the other party in other way, and this is what raises many questions, and credibility of Election Commission is also being questioned. So as a political party, they think they can watch how the Election Commission functions and how it takes action with regard to political parties without any bias or any partiality. It is for them. In a democracy, we can question any constitutional body if it violates the principles of the very constitution.
And the BJP, meanwhile, has launched a fresh attack on the Congress, saying that they have no respect for any constitutional body.
They don't have any belief on not only the Election Commission of India. I think presently the Congress is running in such a way, they don't have any belief in anything, any constitutional body of this country. They are criticizing our honorable president. They are criticizing our electoral system. They are criticizing everything. This is the mindset of, generally this is the mindset of extreme left. And now Congress, I don't know why, being a nationalist party, Congress was designated as a nationalist party, but they are following the route of extreme left.
By stating that Election Commission is not taking look into the malpractices, do you really believe that, by stating these things, they're trying to divert the vote attention as well?
Actually, they are losing election one after another, so that's why they need something for their worker, because the morale of the Congress workers and the opposition workers are really at the bottom. So that's why they are trying to create some alibi. So this is the reason, nothing else.
नहीं, ये तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं उनकी एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी और क्रेडिबिलिटी को क्वेश्चन मार्क लगाने के लिए कमेटी है। पिछले कई दशकों से देश के चुनाव आयोग को लेकर के विदेश तक में इसकी सराहना की गई है। खुद कांग्रेस पार्टी के शासनकाल में 50 साल तक यही संस्थाएं काम करती रही हैं, बल्कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के शासनकाल में तो एक चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर को राज्यसभा में लाकर के और उसको मिनिस्टर बना दिया था। तब कांग्रेस पार्टी के इलेक्शन कमीशन की न्यूट्रलिटी का क्या पैमाना था। लिहाजा जो ये कमेटी बनाई गई है, ये इस संस्था को बदनाम करने के लिए, इसकी रेस्पेक्टेबिलिटी खराब करने के लिए ये बनाई गई है।
And Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, the former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, has once again accused Election Commission of succumbing to the pressure from the BJP, alleging that a commission has surrendered to the ruling party. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party convener Kejriwal raised questions about the impartiality of EC, suggesting that it may be acting in the favor of the BJP ahead of the upcoming elections.
चुनाव आयोग ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सामने हथियार डाल दिए हैं। चुनाव आयोग ऐसे लगता है जैसे एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता। ये एक बहुत बड़ा प्रश्न खड़ा कर रहा है। लोगों के मन में प्रश्न आना, लोगों की सोच को आप रोक नहीं सकते। लोगों के मन में प्रश्न आना बड़ा वाजिब है कि राजीव कुमार जी जो मुख्य चुनाव आयुक्त हैं, वो इस महीने के अंत में रिटायर हो रहे हैं। उन्हें पोस्ट रिटायरमेंट ऐसा कौन सा पद ऑफर किया गया है, वो कौन सा पद हो सकता है जिसके बदले में आप देश को गिरवी रख दो, देश को दांव पे लगा दो? वो कौन सा पद हो सकता है जिसके बदले में आप देश के जनतंत्र को खत्म कर दो? गवर्नर का पद, राष्ट्रपति का पद, कौन सा पद हो सकता है वो जिसके बदले में आप पूरे देश को, जिसके लिए स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने बड़ी बड़ी कुर्बानियां दी, उस जनतंत्र को अगर आप दांव पे लगा दो? मैं नहीं समझता, मेरी नजर में ऐसा कोई पद नहीं है। मेरी हाथ जोड़ के राजीव कुमार जी से विनती है, आप अपनी ड्यूटी कीजिए, पद की लालसा छोड़ दीजिए, पद का लालच छोड़ दीजिए। 3-4 साल और नौकरी कर लेंगे। आपने तो इतने 40-45 साल नौकरी कर ली। इस देश ने आपको बहुत कुछ दिया है। अब अपने कैरियर के अंत में एक पद के लिए देश को गिरवी मत रखिए, देश के जनतंत्र को खत्म मत कीजिए।
Viewers, we are live and breaking. BJP, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress in war mode as Delhi enters a last day of campaigning. Stay tuned.
Director, the taste of success.
Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more. And as part of our response, we are considering, with the provinces and territories, several non-tariff measures, including some relating to critical minerals, energy, procurement, and other partnerships. We will stand strong for Canada. We will stand strong to ensure our countries continue to be the best neighbors in the world. Tonight, first, I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice.
Very warm welcome, viewers. You watch Republic TV. I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. Let's get a quick look at all the stories making news from across the country. This is Bharat in 5 minutes. The last Amrit Snan, as the Amrit Snan of Mahakumbh 2025 began, the third Amrit Snan, devotees rejoiced with enthusiasm as flower petals was showered from the sky on the auspicious occasion of Basant Panchami. Crores of devotees from across the world are all set to take a holy dip at the Triveni Sangam. Uttar Pradesh police have put a 3-tier security system in place to ensure smooth execution of the Snan and monitor the crowd. Former British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is currently in India as the former leader swapped politics for a ball of cricket at the Parsi Gymkhana in Mumbai. Sunak also visited the Wankhede Stadium during the 5th T20 international match between India and England and was seen enjoying with the locals. Sunak expressed his delight over the warmth of Indians and shared his plans of visiting the country more often. As a part of his 3-day visit to India, Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh, arrived in Mumbai on the 2nd of January. His visit comes amid growing bilateral talks between India and United Kingdom and is aimed at promoting the benefits of non-formal education across the world. Post his meeting with the Maharashtra Governor C.P. Radhakrishnan, the Duke is set to visit New Delhi for the next 2 days as the member of the royal family is set to meet senior government officials, business leaders and philanthropists. BJP national spokesperson R.P. Singh wrote to Union Home Minister Amit Shah demanding action against culprits in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots, and Singh alleged that several facts from the case were not presented during the hearing, which has led to delay in justice. Citing the report written by Justice S.N. Dhingra, Singh commented that no proper trial or investigation was conducted against the accused. He further called upon for government intervention. After 3 members of the GHCL Limited went missing during a salt and land survey in the creek area in Ahmedabad, the BSF troops' timely intervention led to a 3-day mission aimed at rescuing the victims and avoiding any casualties. The stranded individuals were spotted by the troops through a drone about 4.5 kilometers from the location of the BSF search party. All 3 people were evacuated safely and brought to the BSF outpost. The Indian women cricket team backed the title of ICC Under-19 T20 World Cup 2025. Led by a spirited captain Nikki Prasad, the Indian team remained unbeaten throughout the tournament as they showcased exceptional skills, composure and dominance. BCCI announced a cash reward of 5 crore for the team.
नहीं, ये तो पूरे भारतवर्ष के लिए बहुत खुशी की बात है कि जिस तरह से हम डोमिनेट पुरुषों में हम कर रहे हैं, उसी तरह हम वुमेन्स क्रिकेट में भी उतना ही डोमिनेशन के साथ भारत प्रदर्शन कर रहा है। अंडर 19 वर्ल्ड कप चैंपियन होना एक बहुत अद्भुत वो है।
The Grand Mahakumbh is a melting pot of cultures as people from across the globe attend the world's biggest spiritual congregation. Ahead of Basant Panchami Snan, hundreds of foreign devotees gathered at the Sangam to prepare for the day ahead. They expressed their joy at being able to attend this historic gathering and applauded the UP government for their efforts, citing that they did not face any difficulties at the Mela at all.
It's unbelievable, it's amazing, it's once in a lifetime experience. I couldn't ask for more, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like that. It's hard to believe, it will take me time to process. But I really think that this is out of this world, it's amazing.
All right, time for a very short break, viewers. But on the other side, we get to you how the Congress is announcing the formation of an 8-member committee, the Empowered Action Group of leaders and experts to oversee the Election Commission of India's handling of polls. We'll get you more on that. Stay tuned.
या जब जैसे मैंने कहा हम वैक्सीन दुनिया को भेजते हैं, या जब हम फोन के माध्यम से कैशलेस पेमेंट करते हैं, तो ये सब चीजें जो हैं दुनिया की नजर में है आज। और एक बहुत बड़ी चीज है, जब भी मैं बाहर जाता हूँ, देश के बाहर जाता हूँ, तो बाकी सरकारें, बाकी नेता जो हैं, हर बार मेरे से पूछते हैं कि ये मुझे समझाइए, आपके यहाँ बहुत बड़ी चीजें हो रही हैं। हम जानते हैं कि लोगों को फ्री राशन मिलता है, लोगों को घर मिलता है, लोगों को बिजली मिलती है, लोगों को पानी मिलता है, लोगों को गैस सिलेंडर मिलता है, और एक बड़ी माने संख्या इतनी बड़ी है कि अगर आप देखें जितने लोगों को घर मिलता है पूरी जापान के आबादी से ज्यादा है, जितने लोगों को सिलेंडर मिलता है जर्मनी की आबादी से ज्यादा है। तो ये मैं बहुत गर्व के साथ दुनिया के सामने रखता हूं, पर मैं दुनिया से एक चीज में छिपाता हूं और ये मुझे छुपाना पड़ता है। मुझे देश के बाहर जाकर शर्म आती कहने में कि भारत के राजधानी में घर नहीं मिलता, भारत के राजधानी में गैस सिलेंडर नहीं मिलता, भारत के राजधानी में जल जीवन मिशन पाइप पानी नहीं मिलता, भारत के राजधानी में आयुष्मान भारत का फायदा नहीं। तो आप ही सोचिए, हम सब जो हैं राजधानी के निवासी हैं, ये हमारे एक किस्म से हमारे दो जिम्मेदारी हैं। हम भारत के निवासी, भारत के नागरिक, और राजधानी जो है, राजधानी पूरी दुनिया के लिए एक मैं कहूँगा रास्ता है, एक गेटवे है, जहाँ पूरी दुनिया पहले दिल्ली आती है। जो दिल्ली की छवि है वो भारत की छवि। दिल्ली तो एक मॉडल होना चाहिए कि जो भी भारत में हो रहा है उससे अच्छा दिल्ली में होना चाहिए। पर यह दुर्भाग्य का विषय है कि पिछले 10 साल में कहीं दिल्ली
All right, viewers, now we get to you how the Prime Minister interacted with the set of students, also talking about their future. Here's a report on that.
मैंने सुना है ये दिल्ली में 9वीं कक्षा के बाद बच्चों को आगे जाने ही नहीं देते। जो बच्चे गारंटी है पास होंगे उन्हीं को जाने दें। क्यों? क्योंकि उनका रिजल्ट खराब हो जाएगा तो मेरी सरकार की इज्जत खराब हो जाएगी, इसलिए बड़ा बेईमानी का काम होता है। मैंने सुना है ये दिल्ली में 9वीं कक्षा के बाद बच्चों को आगे जाने ही नहीं देते। जो बच्चे गारंटी है पास होंगे उन्हीं को जाने दें। क्यों? क्योंकि उनका रिजल्ट खराब हो जाएगा तो मेरी सरकार की इज्जत खराब हो जाएगी, इसलिए बड़ा बेईमानी का काम होता है।
And lakhs and lakhs of devotees are taking the dip at the Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj today, as it is the special occasion of Basant Panchami. It's the Amrit Snan. Here's a report filed by our colleagues from Ground Zero.
As the mega Mahakumbh continues, lakhs of devotees are reaching Prayagraj in attendance. More than 36.61 crore devotees have taken holy dip since the grand event unfolded on 14 Jan. The devotees still continue to pour and take holy dip for the Vasant Panchami today. The government has beefed up security in Kumbh on the occasion of Vasant Panchami. SSP Kumbh Rajesh Dwivedi briefed about the security arrangements.
We have identified strategic points which need to be given more force, and the officers have been put there at specific points to enhance the security as well as traffic management.
The UP government has been committed to ensure smooth running of this grand religious event. Spiritual Guru Ravi Shankar has hailed the arrangements.
यहाँ प्रयागराज में है, इतनी सुचारू रूप से सब व्यवस्था की गई है। लाखों करोड़ों श्रद्धालु यहाँ आके अपनी भक्ति, अपनी पूजा, अपना पाठ कर रहे हैं। एकता में विविधता और विविधता में एकता का ये प्रत्यक्ष दर्शन है यहाँ का।
Ocean of people keep on arriving as lakhs are expected to take holy dip on Vasant Panchami today.
Congress has now announced a watchdog team for the Election Commission. An 8-member committee has been formed. We'll get you more details on that. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
largest news headquarters. Setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
दिल्ली की डेमोग्राफी बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठियों के कारण और रोहिंग्यान्स के कारण बदल रही है, जो कि एक खतरे की सूचक है।
JNU releases report on infiltration threat in Delhi. BJP says Aam Aadmi Party allowed illegal influx to change the demographics.
They are criticizing everything. This is the mindset of extreme left. And now Congress, I don't know why, being a nationalist party, Congress was designated as a nationalist party, but they are following the route of extreme left.
BJP takes on Congress after it forms a panel to oversee the election commission. Is Congress conceding even before Delhi votes? CPI echoes Congress's claims on the ECI, says poll body not upholding code of conduct and bias towards one party. Prime Minister Modi to reply on President's address tomorrow at 5 p.m. in Rajya Sabha on Thursday.
सदन को इस तरह डिस्टर्ब करना ये अच्छी बात नहीं है। अब जनता आपको सवाल पूछेगा कि आप सदन में क्यों आए हैं। आपके आग्रह करने के बाद भी इस तरह का डिस्टर्बेंस करना ये अच्छा नहीं है। सरकार की तरफ से मैं खंडन करना चाहता हूँ।
Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju warns opposition, says Parliament proceedings must not be disrupted. And BJP, Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress in war mode as Delhi enters the last day of campaigning. Good afternoon, viewers. You're watching Republic TV and I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. We start with news coming in from the election season. Now, the Congress party has set up an 8-member committee that is called the EAGLE. Now, EAGLE stands for Empowered Action Group of Leaders and Experts. It's set to monitor the conduct of free and fair elections by the Election Commission of India. It's a watchdog panel, in fact, that has been set up by the Congress party. We're getting in multiple reactions. The CPI has rallied behind the Congress party on this. Take a listen in to the inputs gathered by Republic TV.
हम तो कह ही रहे हैं, लेकिन हमसे पहले जनता कह रही है कि जितने इलेक्शन हैं सब रिग हो रहे हैं मोदी जी के पिछले कुछ इलेक्शंस में, और सब चाहते हैं कि बैलेट पेपर से हो। तो हमारी ये कमेटी इसलिए बनी गई है कि वो ऑब्जर्वर से लेके किस तरह से फंक्शनिंग होता है, इन लोग दे आर नॉट विलिंग टू शेयर देयर प्रीवियस 6 months old वोटर लिस्ट एंड द न्यू वन। कैन यू इमेजिन? That is public property. It should be shared.
So, Mr. Javed, now what the issue is that you have been stating that there are malpractices, yes, which the Election Commission did take cognizance of. So, can we say that, or do you believe that Congress doesn't believe and is also not Congress will be monitoring on the Delhi election as well? The EAGLE committee will be keeping a close watch. Yes,
ma'am. That is what that committee has been formed for, and it is the will and the wish of the people of India. Because they vote for somebody and somebody else is, the winner. So it is a very serious matter. It infringes upon our basic democratic right. So that is why that committee is there.
Congress yesterday, later in the evening, has set up special committee to monitor the Election Commission of India, which is the independent body. How do you look at this?
It is true. The Election Commission of India is an independent constitutional body, and it draws mandate from the very constitution. It means what? Election Commission should ensure free and fair elections. Election Commission should ensure level playing field to all the political parties and candidates. But what we are witnessing, Election Commission, instead of remaining neutral and upholding the code of conduct and the fundamental principles of our democratic practice, Election Commission look at one party in one way, look at the other party in other way. And this is what raises many questions. And credibility of Election Commission is also being questioned. So as a political party, they think they can watch how the Election Commission functions and how it takes action with regard to political parties without any bias or any partiality. It is for them in a democracy. We can question any constitutional body if it violates the principles of the very constitution.
So those were the reactions coming in from the opposition. Now we have the BJP also reacting sharply to this development. Listen in.
कांग्रेस पार्टी हो या उनके भूले बिसरे साथियों, वो अपनी सामंती सनक और सुल्तानी सुरूर से बाहर निकले। जब तक वो सामंती सनक और सुल्तानी सुरूर और गुरूर में चकनाचूर रहेंगे, तब तक वो संवैधानिक संस्थाओं पर सामंती जो है वो संक्रमण पैदा करने की कोशिश करेंगे। उन्हें इस बात को समझना चाहिए कि चुनाव आयोग एक संवैधानिक संस्था है, एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अथॉरिटी है, और उस पर आप जो है वो अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल कंडीशन लगाएंगे, उस पर अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल जो है वो कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश करेंगे, कभी सफल नहीं होंगे।
All right, viewers, so we have more reactions coming. It's a major political development as BJP rebel leaders in Karnataka are set to meet Union Home Minister Amit Shah today, demanding the removal of State President B.Y. Vijayendra. All right, viewers, we'll just get you that report. BJP leaders in Karnataka are set to meet Amit Shah as they demand the removal of B.Y. Vijayendra, who is the state president. Take a listen to this report.
The rebels have prepared a list of grievances pushing for Vijayend's replacement. The three key demands include his removal, cancellation of district BJP president appointments, and conducting an election for the state president's post through voting. Senior leaders Ramesh Jarkiholi and Kumar Bangarappa visited the Chamundeshwari temple in Mysuru, possibly seeking divine blessings ahead of their crucial meeting.
We have breaking news coming in right now, and SP-backed Rajya Sabha MP, Samajwadi Party-backed Rajya Sabha MP Jaya Bachchan has now targeted the Mahakumbh, and she said, and I quote her here, "Water in Kumbh is most contaminated." She has questioned the sea of humanity, that is the Kumbh, viewers. Jaya Bachchan targeting the Yogi government, saying that the UP government is lying, and that Jaya Bachchan is now saying that how can so many people gather? So she is in fact pointing that it's all a planned event, and also raising questions on the authorities, on the government, on the Yogi government. So Jaya Bachchan is the Samajwadi Party backed Rajya Sabha MP. Remember, Jaya Bachchan targeting the Yogi Adityanath government, saying that the government has been lying, and also questioning that how can so many people gather. She is completely unaware of the ground reality of how the culture, of course, this is not the first time that Mahakumbh has seen millions of devotees coming together. Viewers, of course, that's record breaking. But Jaya Bachchan here, one of the leaders from the opposition, questioning the Mahakumbh. We saw how Mallikarjun Kharge earlier questioned the holy dip, saying that does taking the holy dip remove poverty? Does it eradicate poverty? Does it, feed people? So on and so forth. There were multiple questions that have been raised by the opposition leaders, and the latest is Rajya Sabha MP Jaya Bachchan, who is with the Samajwadi Party, who's backed by the Samajwadi Party. Jaya Bachchan also questioning water in Kumbh most contaminated. And take a listen, and viewers, to Jaya Bachchan.
राज्यसभा में क्वेश्चन आवर चल रहा है, जल शक्ति के ऊपर सवाल उठाए गए।
पहले मैं भी कंटामिनेटेड वाटर के लिए काफी कुछ बोल चुकी हूँ। सबसे ज्यादा कंटामिनेटेड वाटर इस वक्त कहाँ है? कुंभ में है। उसके लिए कोई सफाई नहीं दे रहे। बॉडीज जो पानी में डाल दी गई हैं, उससे पानी कंटामिनेट हुआ है। यही पानी जो है लोगों तक पहुंच रहा है वहां। इसके ऊपर कोई सफाई नहीं दे रहे हैं और पूरा आई वॉश किया जा रहा है और सवाल उठा रहे हैं, खुद ही सवाल उठाते हैं, खुद ही जवाब दे रहे हैं। जो असली मुद्दे हैं इस देश के, जो कमजोर तबके के लोग हैं, जिनको कोई वीआईपी ट्रीटमेंट नहीं मिलता है। वीआईपीज चले जाते हैं कुंभ में, नहाते हैं, उनको स्पेशल ट्रीटमेंट मिलता है, उनकी तस्वीरें होती हैं, एक दिन आप लोग सब छापते हैं, दिखाते हैं। मगर जिन लोगों, जो गरीब लोग, जो आम आदमी हैं, उनके लिए कोई सपोर्ट नहीं है, कोई अरेंजमेंट नहीं है। और झूठ बोल रहे हैं। 8 कितने करोड़ बोल रहे हैं? इतने करोड़ लोग वहां आएंगे कैसे? आएंगे कैसे? झूठ बोल रहे हैं। वेल, आप लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट यही है कि एटलीस्ट यू ऑल आर द लास्ट होप फॉर द आम आदमी इन दिस कंट्री। प्लीज डू समथिंग, टॉक अबाउट इट। ये सब बेकार की बातें, जल शक्ति और ये सब जो बात कर रहे हैं, कंटामिनेटेड वाटर, सबसे ज्यादा कंटामिनेटेड वाटर।
व्हाट इज योर डिमांड ऑन कुंभ?
अरे सच तो बताइए लोगों को कि कुंभ में क्या हुआ है, वो तो बताइए।
सदन में बोलने,
सदन में बोलना चाहिए ना जी।
सरकार मैम कह रही है कि जांच चल रही है, जांच।
अरे क्या जांच चल रही है? दुनिया में, हिंदुस्तान में कितनी जांचें चल रही है? जांच खत्म नहीं होती क्या? कुंभ में जो अभी चल रहा है उसमें जांच की जरूरत है? आप देखिए ना, आप लोगों के पास सारी तस्वीरें आ रही होंगी। जो दलदल में लोग फंस गए हैं उनको बाहर निकाल रहे हैं।
और ये भी सुनाई दे रहा है
राज्यसभा में क्वेश्चन आवर चल रहा है, जल शक्ति के ऊपर सवाल उठाए गए। पहले मैं भी कंटामिनेटेड वाटर के लिए काफी कुछ बोल चुकी हूँ। सबसे ज्यादा कंटामिनेटेड वाटर इस वक्त कहाँ है? कुंभ में है। उसके लिए कोई
देखिए ये देश कैसे बदल रहा है, इसको समझिए। और ये देश अब राष्ट्रवाद पे चलेगा। ये देश अब सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद की अवधारणा से प्रेरित होकर चलेगा। ये देश राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा को मजबूत करके चलेगा। ये देश भारत को दुनिया की एक बड़ी ताकत बनाना चाहता है और बनकर रहेगा। सर उनको एक बात समझ में नहीं आती है, दुनिया कैसे बदल रही है। जितने भी गल्फ कंट्री के लोग हैं, सबों ने अपने देश का सर्वोच्चतम अवार्ड भारत रत्न का हमारे प्रधानमंत्री को दिया है, प्रेम से दिया है, उनके काम के कारण दिया है। फिर भी क्या संकेत है सर? वो एक गाना है ना, मुझे याद आता है, समझने वाले समझ गए हैं, ना समझे वो अब नहीं। कब समझेंगे? ये वोट बैंक के कीचड़ की दलदल में फंसी हुई हिंदुस्तान की राजनीति को बदलना जरूरी है। देशभक्तों की, बिना विभेद के, बिना किसी डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के। और अभी देखें, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने हिम्मत दिखाई है वक्फ बोर्ड का। सर आपको बताऊं, मैं वक्फ बोर्ड की एक कहानी खत्म करके अपना भाषण समाप्त करूंगा। ये वक्फ की संपत्ति का क्या अत्याचार होता है। हमारे पटना कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी के शहर में सर एक क्षेत्र बड़ा 2 एकड़ का प्लॉट है सर वहां अर्घ होता है छठ पर सर। उसके बदले में कब्रिस्तान की जमीन अंग्रेजों ने 1920 में दे दी। 20 में वहां कब्रिस्तान है, फिर भी दावा क्या है? ये तो वक्फ है सर। और सर हाई कोर्ट में गया तो सरकार ने कहा ये वक्फ की जमीन नहीं है, तो फिर ट्राइब्यूनल ने बिना किसी नोटिस के डिक्लेयर कर दिया है वक्फ की जमीन है। लड़ाई चल रही है। अरे भैया, वक्फ एक बहुत पावन चीज है। ईमानदारी से जो देते हैं अपनी संपत्ति को, वो अल्लाह के नाम पर उसका सदुपयोग करिए, दुरुपयोग मत करिए। और दुरुपयोग होगा तो वक्फ का कानून आएगा, जो आ रहा है ईमानदारी से, ये समझिए। अध्यक्ष जी, मैं इतना ही कहूंगा, महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी का भाषण समग्रता का है, सर्वव्यापी, सर्वस्पर्शी, ऑल इनकम्पासिंग। जहां गरीब की चिंता है, जहां बदलाव की चिंता है, जहां भारत के आर्थिक विकास का आत्मविश्वास है, भारत की सेना सुरक्षा के बारे में एक नया संकल्प वो मोदी जी की सरकार के द्वारा दिखाई पड़ा है, जो कश्मीर की स्थिति है, और जिस तरह से इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी और सिलचर से सूरत तक भारत जुड़ा है, उसकी भी कहानी है। यही तो एकता होती है ना, यही एकता होती है। आज कोई निकलता है सूरत से तो मन करता है चलो गाड़ी से ही कामाख्या चले जाएं, दर्शन करके आ जाएं। और मैंने सर वो जगह देखी है कन्याकुमारी में, जहां कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी की सड़क समाप्त होती है। मैं वहां गया था सर, और मैं उस गोल चक्कर पर रुका और मैंने स्वर्गीय अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी को सम्मान दिया और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को सम्मान दिया कि अगर एक सपना होता है, कितना विरोध हुआ था इनके द्वारा कि क्या कर रहे हो, कहां से जमीन आएगी, कहां से लोहा आएगा, कहां से सीमेंट आएगा, और आज देखिए कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी सड़क बन गई। और देखिए सर, विकास की भूख होती है तो पार्टी के काम से मुझे 5 आसाम की लोकसभा देखने का दायित्व मिला था। मैं सर लौट रहा था तो रास्ते में लगभग 1,000 आदिवासी खड़े थे, कह के आप आए हैं, हमारी इस नेशनल हाईवे में 25 किलोमीटर नहीं बना है, बनवा दीजिए। हमने पहले विरोध किया था। ये होता है विकास की भूख, जब ईमानदारी से उसको काम किया जाता है। सर वो जितना बोले देश आगे बढ़ेगा, दुनिया में नाम करेगा। हमारे नेता दुनिया के एक लोकप्रियतम नेता हैं, उनकी बात दुनिया सुनती है और सुनेगी। थोड़ा बहुत आप भी सुनना सीख जाइए तो अच्छा रहेगा, आपका भी कल्याण होगा। लेकिन एक बात मैं कहूंगा सर, जितना भी विरोध करें, देश अब सकारात्मक सोच, रचनात्मक सोच, भारतीय संस्कार, भारतीय प्रेरणा, भारतीय संस्कृति के साथ चल पड़ा है और रुकने वाला नहीं है। इस पूरे राष्ट्रपति जी के भाषण में उसका बहुत बड़ा जिक्र है सर। आपने मुझे समय दिया सर, इसके लिए मैं कृतज्ञ हूं, और अपने इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी को बहुत सम्मान के साथ साधुवाद देता हूं, उन्हें संबोधित किया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, अभिनंदन।
माननीय सदस्यगण, महामहिम राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर जिन माननीय सदस्यों के संशोधन परिचालित किए गए हैं, यदि वे अपने संशोधनों को प्रस्तुत करने के इच्छुक हैं तो 15 मिनट के भीतर सभा पटल पर अपनी पर्चियां भेज सकते हैं, जिनमें उन संशोधनों की क्रम संख्या दर्शाई गई हो जिन्हें वो प्रस्तुत करना चाहते हैं। केवल उन संशोधनों को ही प्रस्तुत किया समझा जाएगा जिसके संबंध में पर्चियां बताए गए समय के भीतर सभा पटल पर प्राप्त होगी। इस प्रकार प्रस्तुत किए गए संशोधनों की क्रम संख्या को दर्शाने वाली सूची कुछ समय पश्चात सूचना पट पर लगा दी जाएगी। सदस्य यदि सूची में कोई विसंगति पाते हैं तो कृपया उसे तत्काल सभा पटल पर अधिकारियों को अवगत कराने की कृपा करें। माननीय श्री राहुल गांधी जी।
Thank you, Speaker sir, for allowing me to speak on the President's address. Camera. Thank you. Double thank you, sir. I heard the President's address. I sat there with Kharge ji and I listened to it. And I must say, I struggled through the President's address to maintain my attention on what was being said. because I had heard pretty much the same President's address the last time and the time before that and the time before that. And it was the same laundry list of things that the government has done. We have done this, we have done this, we have done this, 50 or 100 things that the government has done. And so while I was sitting there, I was thinking, okay, I am being critical about what is being said. And I am saying that this is not the type of President's address that should be delivered. Well, the question came to my mind, what type of address would an India Gathbandhan government deliver? How would that address be different than the address we heard? Because it's no point me saying that it is a laundry list and then not providing an alternative idea. And so today I would like to lay out some dimensions of what an alternative address would look like, what the India Gathbandhan would probably focus on, and where we would lay emphasis. The future of this country is going to be decided by the young men and women of this country, the youth of this country. So I think anything we say has to be addressed to them, has to be spoken to them. The first thing in front of us, and this is something I'm sure the Prime Minister would accept and pretty much everybody in this room will accept, is that even though we have grown fast, we are growing slightly slower now, but we are still growing. A universal problem that we have faced is that we have not been able to tackle the problem of unemployment. No, neither the UPA government nor today's NDA government has given a clear-cut answer to the youth of India about employment. I don't think anybody in this room will disagree with me. I'll give a little statistic for the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, something I would agree with directionally. The Prime Minister proposed the Make in India program. I think a good idea. We saw the statues, we saw the functions, we saw the so-called investment, and the result is right in front of me. Manufacturing fell from 15.3% of GDP in 2014 to 12.6% of GDP today. That is the lowest share of manufacturing in 60 years. I'm not even blaming the Prime Minister, because I think it would not be fair to say he didn't try. I could say that the Prime Minister tried, and I think conceptually Make in India was a good idea, but it's pretty clear that he failed, because manufacturing went from 15.3% of GDP to 12.6%. So the first question that any alternative vision would answer to the youngsters of our country is, okay, what and how are we going to solve this problem of employment? Any country basically organizes two things. You can organize consumption, and then you can organize production. Modern way of saying organizing consumption is services. Modern way of saying organizing production is manufacturing. But there is more to production than simply manufacturing. For example, agriculture also is about production. Now, pretty much every government since 1990 has done a decent job on consumption. on organizing consumption. Which are the companies that organize consumption? Uber organizes consumption. Reliance organizes consumption. Adani organizes consumption. But we have, as a country, failed in organizing production. We have excellent companies that try to organize production. They are the Mahindras of this world. They are the Bajajs of this world. Part of Tata's organizes production, but the record of the country in organizing production is dismal. And essentially what we have done is we have handed over the organization of production to the Chinese. So this mobile phone, even though we are saying we make this mobile phone in India, that is not a fact. This phone is not made in India. This phone is assembled in India. All the components of this phone are made in China. The network that has produced this phone is made in China, is owned by China. So every time we use a phone, every time we wear a Chinese shirt, a Bangladeshi shirt, every time we wear a pair of Chinese sneakers, we are paying a tax to China. Because some Chinese youngster is earning a salary to make or to produce that product. So the first message I would give in a presidential address would be that India has to focus completely on production. Because if we do not focus on production and we continue to focus only on consumption, we will find that we will run huge deficits, we will increase inequality, and eventually we will run into a serious problem. Social problem because of unemployment, which we are already facing. If you look at the numbers of the amount of people who are in jail, if you look at the numbers that are spent on internal security, if you look at the numbers spent on our police forces, they're all spiraling. They're all rising. And everybody understands that social tension is on the rise in India. So now the next question comes, okay, so where is this employment going to come from? What is India going to produce? And for that, I'd like to tell all the youngsters of this country that there is a revolution taking place, an exciting revolution. The world is transforming completely. And the change that is taking place, at the heart of the change that is taking place, we are moving from the world of the internal combustion engine to the world of the electric motor. We are moving from petrol to batteries. We are moving wind, solar, potentially nuclear energy. So our entire way of moving is changing. And this is going to change every single thing. It is going to change warfare. It is going to change medical treatment. It is going to change education. It is going to change how we eat. It is going to change every single thing. Now, the last time there was a revolution called the computer revolution, the government of India had a clear focus. We looked at that revolution. It was the Congress government. We looked at the revolution and we decided clearly that we are going to focus on the development of software. And we rode the wave of that revolution. And today you can see the result. I remember people laughing. I remember people laughing when the computer was being talked about. You mentioned Mr. Vajpayee. I respect Mr. Vajpayee, but Mr. Vajpayee gave a speech saying that computers are of no consequence to India. So, what is important when there is a revolution? What is important is that you understand what are the drivers of that revolution and where exactly do you need to focus, where exactly do you need to sit in that revolution. I said that this revolution is going to change everything. And I want the youngsters in this country to think about it. There is a war going on in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine is actually a war between the internal combustion engine and the motor, the electric motor. The electric motor is inside the drone, the engine is inside the tank. And if you look at what is going on in Ukraine, the tanks are dying by the thousands. And small little drones with electric motors, small batteries, not much bigger than that, are destroying the entire tank artillery infrastructure of both Ukraine and Russia. So the drone is the electric motor. The drone is the battery. The drone also needs to see. So the drone is a camera. In the same way, electric cars, the electric car is a motor. The electric car is batteries. The electric car is cameras. Robots are exactly the same thing. Robots are electric motors, multiple electric motors with cameras, with batteries. And this is what the revolution is going to look like. So there are basically 4 technologies that are driving this entire change in mobility. Electric motors, batteries, optics, and then on top of that, you can apply AI. Now I want to tell the youngsters of this country, people talk about AI. But it's important to understand that AI on its own is absolutely meaningless. Because AI operates on top of data. Without data, AI means nothing. And if we look at data today, there is one thing which is very clear. Every single piece of data that comes out of the production system in the world, the data that was used to make this phone, the data that is used to make electric cars, the data that is used to make basically all electronics on the planet today is owned by China. And the consumption data is owned by the United States. In China, the consumption data is owned by China, but in India, companies like Google, companies like Facebook, companies like Instagram, X, they own our consumption data. So if India wants to talk about AI, it has to first answer the question, what data is going to power that AI? And the answer today is India does not have that data. Neither does India have production data, neither does India have consumption data. We have handed our consumption data to the big American companies, and the production data we don't have anyway. So what would that vision look like? The first thing, we would start getting youngsters excited about this revolution. We would start to introduce the idea of a completely new way of moving, a complete revolution in how things move. We would start teaching our children in schools about batteries, about electric motors, about how these things combine, about how drones, robots, electric cars are structured, how they will work together. And most important, we have to start building a production network so that we can get access to production data. Now, what would we focus on? We would not give you a laundry list. China has at least a 10-year lead on India in this space. China has been working on batteries, robots, motors, optics for the last 10 years, and we are behind. So what would our president's address say to the youngsters? We will choose critical areas in each one of these technologies, and we will start to build capabilities in those areas. The second thing we would do, we would ensure that our banking system is not captured by 2 or 3 companies that basically do not allow you to build a production system. But our banking system is open, is dynamic, and is accessible to small and medium businesses and to millions and millions of entrepreneurs who want to take part in this revolution. Our foreign policy would take into account this revolution. When we talk to the United States, we would not send our foreign minister to invite our prime minister to his coronation. We would not send him 3 or 4 times, please invite our prime minister. Because if we had a production system and if we were working on these technologies, the American president would come here and invite the prime minister. So it is important to understand where
opposition cannot make such serious, unsubstantiated statement. This is related to the relation between two countries, and he is making a unverified statement about invitation of the Prime Minister of our country. Is matter of our dignity. How can you make such kind of statement? He is leader of opposition, sir. He should be responsible in making such statement.
LOP is giving us very positive suggestions. Why they are worried, sir? For the country, he is giving.
Leader of opposition has the information from any official source. He must inform the House. If leader of opposition has the information, please inform the House. Who has told you that foreign ministers visited for the purpose which you have mentioned? You must specify it.
So, I'm sorry that disturbed you, that question. I apologize for disturbing your peace of mind. It's okay. I've apologized. I've apologized for disturbing your peace of mind. I'm sorry.
Apologize for lying to the House. ऐसा नहीं होता है। तो सीरियस होना चाहिए लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन को। कम से कम देश के मामले में तो एक हो। देश के मामले में तो एक वॉइस से बोलना चाहिए। ये गलत बात है। ये ठीक नहीं है। लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन को इस तरह का बयानबाजी नहीं करना चाहिए। ये गंभीर विषय पर चर्चा चल रही है। इसका गौरव विषय है।
So we would start by telling our young men and women that they have to be at the forefront of this revolution. We cannot afford that the Chinese are at the forefront of this revolution. Number one. Number two, we will ensure that the absolute best experts on these technologies would talk to our students, would talk to our youngsters and guide them on what a future, on what these future technologies are going to do. We would make them partners in this revolution. Now, we talk about defense. And today, we have the Chinese. And the Prime Minister has denied it. And the army has contradicted the Prime Minister. It's true. The Prime Minister has denied it. The Prime Minister has denied it. And the army has disagreed with the Prime Minister that China is sitting on 4,000 square kilometers of our land, of our territory.
ऐसा इस सदन में अब मन चाहे बात नहीं बोल सकते हैं। ये बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है सर। ये सीरियस मामला है। आप फॉरेन पॉलिसी पे, बॉर्डर इश्यू पर आप अपना कैसे मजाक बात कर सकते हैं? अपना मन कहानी आप बना के बोल रहे हैं। ये तो बहुत सीरियस मामला है।
विदेशी प्रतिपक्ष के नेता जो आप विषय बोल रहे हैं, जो विषय आप बोल रहे हैं, उसके तथ्यों को सदन के पटल पे रखना आप।
अनुरोध है लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन बोले, हम लोग शांति से सुनेंगे, ये आपका अधिकार है बोलने का, मगर आप मन चाहे ऐसा सीरियस इशू पे कैसे बोल सकते हैं? सीरियस मामला है। आप सदन में बोलते हो, फॉरेन मिनिस्टर का मुश्किल देते हैं, सीमा का ऑफिशियल वर्जन से अलग बात करते हैं, ऐसा मत बोलिए। ये देश के लिए ठीक नहीं है। आपको सीरियस होना पड़ेगा लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन। ये गंभीर मामले को आप ऐसा
The Prime Minister has denied that Chinese forces are inside our territory, but for some reason our army keeps talking to the Chinese about their entry into our territory, and our Chief of Army Staff has said that the Chinese are inside our territory. This is a fact. This is not invention, this is a fact. Now, but the reason the reason China is inside our territory is important. Because people think that wars are fought between armies and their weapons. But the fact of the matter is that wars are fought by industrial systems. The fact of the matter is that China has an industrial system that is far stronger, far bigger than our industrial system. And that is why they have the guts to come inside this country. The reason China is sitting inside this country is because Make in India has failed. The reason China is sitting inside this country is because India is refusing to produce. And I'm worried that India is going to give up this revolution to the Chinese once again. The reason I made this reference is because everything is connected. If and when we fight a war with China, we will be fighting with Chinese electric motors, Chinese batteries, Chinese optics, and we will be buying Chinese motors, Chinese optics, Chinese batteries. It is a non-sustainable proposition. That is why for our security, for the future of our children, for the future of our country, we have to build a production system, and we cannot allow this revolution to go by. Now, the next step, we have a strategic partner called the United States. The partnership should focus on how India and the United States can work together to take advantage of this revolution. That is what the conversation should be on. Please understand that India is as important as the United States for the simple reason that they cannot build an industrial system without us. They cannot build a production system without us. No matter what they say, the Americans simply cannot do what India can do because their cost structure is much, much, much more expensive than ours. We can build things that the Americans would never imagine. India can do that. So that would be the first part of a president's address. We would talk to the youngsters in India and say to them, we want you to be partners in this revolution. We want to change the Indian banking system so you can have access to it. And we believe in you, we trust in you, and we believe you can take on the Chinese. That's the first part. The second part would be about participation. We have done a caste census in Telangana, and what we have found is shocking. Almost 90% of Telangana is either Dalit, Adivasi, backward, or minority. Almost 90%. And I am convinced that that is the story across the country. I am absolutely convinced that the OBC population of this country is not one less than 50%, possibly 55%. 16% are Dalits, 9% are Adivasis, 15% are minorities. Last budget, there was a photograph. You remember the photograph?
Of course.
वो मक्खन बांटने वाली, हलवा बांटने वाली फोटो. मैं हैरान हो गया कि इस बार फोटो ही हटा दी. हलवा खिलाया मगर दिखाया नहीं किसको खिला रहे. So at the center of any new development paradigm for this country, which runs parallel with the production paradigm I spoke of, which works together with the production paradigm I spoke of, is the participation of lower castes, OBCs, Dalits, Adivasis in the wealth of this country. If we look at the largest corporates in this country, they're all owned. None of them are owned by OBCs. None of them are owned by Dalits. None of them are owned by tribals. If we look at the biggest media companies that support the Prime Minister, Every day we see the Prime Minister's pleasant face, smiling face on these media. None of them are owned by OBCs. None of them are owned by Dalits. None of them are owned by Adivasis. This is the fact. So central to any new development paradigm is the architecture of a new paradigm. And that architecture of the new paradigm can only be built once the caste census is placed on this table. Because once the caste census is placed on the table, we will know exactly how much of this country's wealth, how much of this country's power, how many of this country's institutions are owned by 90% of this country. There are OBC MPs in the BJP. There are OBC MPs in the BJP. There are Dalit MPs in the BJP. There are Adivasi MPs in the BJP. Remember, you are OBCs, you have 50% of the population, and you have absolutely no power. I know that you're sitting there and you cannot even open your mouth. That is the truth of the country.
प्रधानमंत्री का चेहरा आपको दिखाई नहीं देता है।
जाति जनगणना,
प्रधानमंत्री का चेहरा आपको दिखाई नहीं देता है।
आर्किटेक्चर, participation, revolution in this country that we are going to bring.
ये अंधेरा हो गया है।
पार्लियामेंट में है।
ये कुछ दिखता नहीं है।
सोनिया गांधी, प्रियंका,
इधर अपोजिशन को कुछ दिखाई नहीं देता है। ओबीसी बात करते हैं।
So the idea is, Speaker sir, the idea is Speaker sir, so the idea is, on one side, allow India and the Indian youngsters to participate in the coming mobility revolution. Allow them to participate in building robots, in building drones, in building electronic items, in building EVs. And on the other side, running parallel.
मैंने उनको ही मना किया।
country, Speaker sir.
ऐसा नहीं है। आप भी बहुत डिस्टर्बेंस करते हैं।
Okay, Speaker sir. So parallel ideas. One idea: participate in the mobility revolution. Whether you're thinking of economy, weapons, production, healthcare, India should participate in this revolution. India should become the master of the electric motor, master of the battery, master of optics, and master of AI applied on top of that production system. Now imagine the power of AI when we apply it to the caste census. You imagine what we will do with AI and what we will do with the social revolution in this country when we start to apply AI on the data that we get from the caste census. So we are going to run a parallel track. On one side, participation, revolutionizing the participation of Dalits, OBCs, Adivasis in the ruling of this country, in the institutions of this country, in distribution of wealth of this country. And on the other side, parallel track, challenge the Chinese and participate in the revolution and defeat the Chinese in electric motors, batteries, solar panels, and wind. So that is the first two parts of any presidential election address that any India Gathbandhan leader would give you. The final, of course, we go back to the Constitution. This, our favorite, just like the production system is a weapon, just like Jati Jangarna is a weapon of transformation. This is what the entire architecture is built on. I remember before the elections, all of you were saying 400 par, and you were saying you would change this. And then I was glad to see that the Prime Minister walked in and then was forced to bow his head in front of the Constitution. It was a moment of pride for all Congress people that we had explained to the Prime Minister and to the whole country that no force will dare touch this. I know that the RSS has never accepted this. Mohan Bhagwatji has said that India didn't get independence in 1947. He has said that this constitution is meaningless. I know that that is at your heart. We will never let your dream come true. This constitution is going to rule India always. Now,
एक मिनट आप प्रतिपक्ष के नेता हैं, मेरा आपसे आग्रह है कि जो विषय आप रखें वह तथ्यों के आधार पर रखें, उचित होगा। मैंने आपको पहले भी कहा, और जो सदन के सदस्य नहीं हैं उनकी चर्चा न करें।
सर बताता हूँ, सर मोहन भागवत
आप नियम प्रक्रियाओं की पालन करें, आपसे अपेक्षा।
सर मोहन भागवत जी ने स्टेटमेंट दिया।
मोहन भागवत का
Speaker sir, Mohan Bhagwat ji made a statement saying that India did not receive independence in 1947. It received independence when the Ram Mandir was inaugurated. We will place that on the table. Now sir, I would like to mention one small thing, but very important thing. Speaker sir, this constitution is supported by
भाषा पे ध्यान दीजिए।
This constitution is supported by the vote of our people. Without the secure vote of the Indian people, this constitution means nothing. Now I want to bring to the notice of this house some data, some information about the Maharashtra election. Very simple stuff. Speaker sir, between the Lok Sabha election, which the India Alliance won, and the Vidhan Sabha election, the voting population of Himachal Pradesh was added to the voting roll of Maharashtra. Meaning the entire population of Himachal Pradesh was added to the voter rolls of Maharashtra. Please understand what I am saying. In Lok Sabha, the difference between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha was the population of Himachal. The entire population. Almost 70 lakh new voters suddenly arrived between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. Now, the most interesting part, and the Prime Minister is not looking at me. The most interesting part, suddenly. The most interesting part is Sir, Maharashtra mein more voters were added in 5 months in Maharashtra than were added in 5 years in Maharashtra. जितने 5 साल में ऐड हुए उससे ज्यादा 5 महीने में ऐड हुए, आखिरी 5 महीने में लोकसभा चुनाव के बाद। सर, एक बिल्डिंग है सर शिरडी में, एक बिल्डिंग में 7,000 नए वोटर एक बिल्डिंग में ऐड हुए सर। एक बिल्डिंग में 7,000 नए वोटर ऐड हुए सर। सर, मैं कोई आरोप नहीं लगा रहा हूं, मैं सिर्फ ये कह रहा हूं सर कि इसमें कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉब्लमैटिक है कि हिमाचल प्रदेश जितने बड़े वोटर्स लोकसभा के बाद जादू से आ जाते हैं। अब हम क्या कह रहे हैं, हमने इलेक्शन कमीशन से रिपीटेडली कहा है कि हम आरोप नहीं लगा रहे हैं, आप एक काम कीजिए, हमें लोकसभा की वोटर लिस्ट दे दीजिए, नेम एड्रेस और इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली दीजिए, और विधानसभा नहीं है, नहीं सर, नहीं 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 नहीं, स्पीकर सर
वो सब वेबसाइट पे रहती है, सब जानते हैं, कभी भी कोई निकाल सकता है।
स्पीकर सर मैं समझा देता हूं सर, स्पीकर सर वो Speaker sir, we have asked. Speaker sir. Speaker sir, we are asking this question. We are asking this. Speaker sir, population of Himachal Pradesh. Please. Population of Himachal Pradesh has voted. Extra has voted in Maharashtra. We are saying to the Election Commission, please give us the names and addresses and polling booths of all the workers in the Lok Sabha and all the workers in the Vidhan Sabha, so we can calculate who these new workers are, who these new voters are. Interestingly, the new voters are mostly in the constituencies that the BJP has swept. Yes. Please understand. The new voters have been added mostly in the constituencies where BJP has swept. I am still not making an allegation. I am saying on the floor of the House that the Election Commission has to give the data of the Maharashtra elections to the Congress Party, to the Shiv Sena and to the NCP, so that we can see exactly where these voters have been added, who has been subtracted, who has been added, where they have been added. This is not a irresponsible request. This is a very simple request for them to fulfill. The reason I am saying this, sir, is because the rules have been changed. This is not just said in isolation. Speaker, sir, the election commissioner used to be chosen by the Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition and the Chief Justice. Sir, the Chief Justice was removed from that committee. Why? This is a question, sir. This is a question to the Prime Minister. Why was the Chief Justice removed from the committee? Now, in a few days, I am going to go to the meeting. There's going to be Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Modi ji. And there's going to be me. 2 to 1. Why am I even going to the meeting? What is the purpose of me going to the meeting? I'm only going to the meeting to certify what Modi ji and Amit Shah ji are going to say. Right? Whereas if the Chief Justice was there could be a discussion. Chief Justice and Leader of Opposition could say, no, we don't agree. So, there seems to be a calculated strategy. Now, just prior to the Lok Sabha, the election commissioner was changed and 2 new election commissioners were placed. Yes. We know that the election dates were changed. Yes. We know that the elections were postponed. These are facts. These are not things I am inventing. So, in order to safeguard this constitution, the entire opposition requests the data for the Maharashtra election. We request the data and the electoral voter list for Lok Sabha and the corresponding list for Vidhan Sabha. And I am very confident that the Election Commission will not give us this information. Speaker, sir, that is broadly. So the third element of our President's address would be a determined defense of India's institutions, of our democratic system, and a re-look at our entire democratic framework, and looking again at all the institutions that have been taken away from the people of India. So those would be the type of things that we would say in a presidential address. I'd like to finally say one thing. In the last, थोड़ा बढ़ा देता हूँ. अब मैं थोड़ा और खींचूंगा. अब और खींचूंगा। So in the last, there is a background, a philosophical background to what I am saying. Essentially, what I am saying to the youngsters of India and to this house is that instead of focusing on multiple things, instead of telling us a laundry list, give us a strategy, give us a vision, make it clear, right? Now, there is a philosophical basis to this. There is even a deep philosophical basis to this. I showed you the picture of Shivji, which you didn't allow me to show. I showed that picture for a reason. What does that picture tell us? If you look at that picture carefully, it tells us focus carefully. Do not get distracted. Do not look here and there. Do the job at hand. So there is a philosophical basis to the speech I have given. I have not told the House and the country that we will do this, and this. This is the philosophy of Shivji. Say what you have to say, but be clear that you're going to do that one thing and don't do 56, 70 different things. So there is a link between our philosophical tradition, our religious tradition, and what I'm saying. And that is what India needs to do. India needs to connect the past, the values of the past. You talk about Sardar Patel ji, but you destroy Sardar Patel ji's values every day. You talk about Ambedkar ji, you destroy his values every day. You talk about Nehru ji, no, you don't talk about Nehru ji. Right? You bow in front of Buddha. You destroy what he says. So the point is, you have to be truthful to what you are. Right? And it is important that when you are giving a way forward to the nation, there is clarity. There is clarity of purpose. There is no hatred. There is no violence. There is no anger. Because these things are destroying our country. So my speech has not been angry, has not been nasty. My speech has been very polite, very kind, and I thank the Prime Minister for coming and listening to it.
माननीय श्री नरेश चंद पटेल
माननीय सभापति महोदय, अध्यक्ष जी, जाने वालों को कोई नहीं रोक पाएगा।
आप तो अपना भाषण
महोदय, सबसे पहले मैं आपका धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं कि आपने महामहिम राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण के धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव पर मुझे बोलने का मौका दिया। मानवर, इस सदन में बोलते हुए सबसे पहले मैं महाकुंभ में हुई दुखद घटना को स्मरण करना चाहता हूं। उन सभी श्रद्धालुओं और भक्तों को मेरी भावपूर्ण श्रद्धांजलि। मानवर, जिन्होंने अपने जीवन की आस्था और भक्ति के साथ पवित्र स्नान करने का संकल्प लिया था, लेकिन दुर्भाग्यवश प्रशासनिक कुप्रबंधन और लापरवाही के चलते वो काल के गाल में समा गए। मानवर, ये कोई प्राकृतिक आपदा नहीं थी, बल्कि सरकार की नाकामी का ये एक जीता जागता उदाहरण था। महाकुंभ, जिसे दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा आध्यात्मिक आयोजन माना जाता है, जो लाखों करोड़ों श्रद्धालुओं की आस्था और विश्वास का केंद्र है, ये केवल एक धार्मिक आयोजन नहीं था, बल्कि भारत की सांस्कृतिक और आध्यात्मिक धरोहर का प्रतीक है। परंतु जिस प्रकार की अव्यवस्था इस बार रही, वो न केवल दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, बल्कि सरकार की संवेदनशीलहीनता और प्रशासनिक कुप्रबंधन को उजागर करती है। मानवर, क्या यह सरकार को पता नहीं था कितने विशाल आयोजन में भारी संख्या में श्रद्धालु आएंगे, क्या योजनाएं केवल
I'll give a little statistic for the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, something I would agree with directionally. The Prime Minister proposed the Make in India program. I think a good idea. We saw the statues, we saw the functions, we saw the so-called investment, and the result is right in front of me. Manufacturing fell from 15.3% of GDP in 2014 to 12.6% of GDP today. That is the lowest share of manufacturing in 60 years. I'm not even blaming the Prime Minister, because I think it would not be fair to say he didn't try. I could say that the Prime Minister tried, and I think conceptually Make in India was a good idea, but it's pretty clear that he failed, because manufacturing went from 15.3% of GDP to 12.6%. So the first question that any alternative vision would answer to the youngsters of our country is, okay, what and how are we going to solve this problem of employment? Any country basically organizes two things. You can organize consumption, and then you can organize production. Modern way of saying organizing consumption is services. Modern way of saying organizing production is manufacturing. But there is more to production than simply manufacturing. For example, agriculture also is about production. Now, pretty much every government since 1990 has done a decent job on consumption, on organizing consumption. Which are the companies that organize consumption? Uber organizes consumption. Reliance organizes consumption. Adani organizes consumption. But we have, as a country, failed in organizing production. We have excellent companies that try to organize production. They are the Mahindras of this world. They are the Bajajs of this world. Part of Tata's organizes production, but the record of the country in organizing production is dismal. And essentially what we have done is we have handed over the organization of production to the Chinese. Some data, some information about the Maharashtra election. Very simple stuff. Speaker sir, between the Lok Sabha election, which the India Alliance won, and the Vidhan Sabha election, the voting population of Himachal Pradesh was added to the voting roll of Maharashtra. Meaning the entire population of Himachal Pradesh was added to the voter rolls of Maharashtra. Please understand what I am saying. In Lok Sabha, the difference between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha was the population of Himachal. The entire population. What? Almost 70 lakh new voters suddenly arrived between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. Now, the most interesting part, and the Prime Minister is not looking at me. The most interesting part, मुंह नीचे कर लिया suddenly. The most interesting part is more voters were added in 5 months in Maharashtra than were added in 5 years in Maharashtra. जितने 5 साल में ऐड हुए उससे ज्यादा 5 महीने में ऐड हुए, आखिरी 5 महीने में लोकसभा चुनाव के बाद। सर, एक बिल्डिंग है सर शिरडी में, एक बिल्डिंग में 7,000 नए वोटर एक बिल्डिंग में ऐड हुए सर। एक बिल्डिंग में 7,000 नए वोटर ऐड हुए सर। सर, मैं कोई आरोप नहीं लगा रहा हूं, मैं सिर्फ ये कह रहा हूं सर कि ये इसमें कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉब्लमैटिक है कि हिमाचल प्रदेश जितने बड़े वोटर्स लोकसभा के बाद जादू से आ जाते हैं। अब हम क्या कह रहे हैं, हमने इलेक्शन कमीशन से रिपीटेडली कहा है कि हम आरोप नहीं लगा रहे हैं, आप एक काम कीजिए, हमें लोकसभा की वोटर लिस्ट दे दीजिए, नेम एड्रेस और इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली दीजिए, और विधानसभा नहीं है, नहीं सर, नहीं।
All right, BJP MLA Ram Kadam now joining us on the phone line. Your response to what Rahul Gandhi said in the parliament?
See, everyone knows that Rahul Gandhi has a habit of always commenting on a baseless issues with a baseless points. There is no logic about it. Give more examples, more numbers. कभी भी कुछ भी बेहुदी बातें करना, लोगों को गुमराह करना, एक फेक नैरेटिव सेट करना, ये कांग्रेस और उनके साथी दलों की आदत, इसमें कोई तथ्य नहीं है। जब चुनाव हारते हैं तो इस प्रकार की बातें ले आते हैं, और जब चुनाव जीतते हैं तब कुछ और बातें ले आते हैं।
All right, please do stay on with Shaina. NC is also with us on the phone line. A quick word from you on Rahul Gandhi making those statements, from his claims on China to his comment on Jaishankar's visit to America to all the statements he's made, even the caste census. Your response?
Firstly, I would request Mr. Rahul Gandhi to please think and speak, and not speak and think. Every time there is a victory of the Congress party, that is the victory and the mandate of the people. Every time there is a defeat of the Congress party, they attribute it to EVMs and suggest that the Prime Minister has done something wrong. Now, why can they not make their stand clear on electoral processes when the Election Commission has exposed every political party to hackathons where they know that EVMs cannot be tampered with? The reality is that we as a society believe that a democracy should be flourishing with the mandate of the people. And if you accept that, then you will accept the verdict both ways. It can't be that Lok Sabha there is a mandate for you and Vidhan Sabha there is a mandate which is against you, which is tampered with. So Mr. Rahul Gandhi needs to think and speak rather than speak and think. And second, every single issue he raises in Parliament, whether it's the caste census, or whether it's his retort to Draupadi Murmu's budget speech, saying it was so boring, shows you the mindset, the feudalistic mindset, which is clearly a mindset only to play politics of division and appeasement politics that they choose to. So I think the less said, the better. Nobody takes him seriously, and the time has come to defund and debunk the Congress, which we will see on the 5th when the people of Delhi go to vote.
And, you know, I want to raise another point. After all the faux pas he's made regarding the Constitution, he once again made that controversial claim on the Constitution where he said that RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat doesn't believe in the Constitution. Does he always invite trouble for himself?
There is no question of people disrespecting the Constitution. The Honorable Prime Minister has even gone to the extent of celebrating a Constitution Day and taking the preamble to students all across schools. If he only looked at the track record of India's democracy, they will realize that of so many times that the Constitution has been amended. 88 times it has been amended by the Congress Party. We, if at all, have only used the Constitution for positive legislations, whether it's Uniform Civil Code, Article 370, etc. So, as I said, a little ignorance is a big thing in his case. And in his case, this ignorance chooses to be faulty at every given instance.
All right, Ms. Shaina NC, thank you for speaking to Republic this afternoon. We have to slip into a very short commercial break. We'll also take a quick check of what's lined up on the other side. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju has countered Rahul Gandhi. He said that LOP is not serious and he must apologize for his remarks.
Creating a world using sapphire to power change. Manufacturing semiconductors by resident Indians. India, pushing boundaries of possibility and innovating a brighter tomorrow. Semiconductors from India, now from Polymatic.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the US trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics.
Thank you for staying with Republic. And while Samajwadi Party MP Jaya Bachchan politicized the Mahakumbh tragedy, she went on to say that where is the water most contaminated right now? It is Kumbh. In fact, she also added that bodies of those who had died in the stampede have been thrown in the river, because of which the water has been contaminated. And the common man visiting Kumbh was not receiving any proper arrangement. Listen in.
Well, आप लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट यही है कि एटलीस्ट you all are the last hope for the आम आदमी in this country. Please do something. Talk about it. ये सब बेकार की बातें, जल शक्ति और ये सब जो बात कर रहे हैं, contaminated water, सबसे ज़्यादा contaminated water.
What is your demand on Kumbh?
अरे सच तो बताइए लोगों को कि कुंभ में क्या हुआ है, वो तो बताइए. सदन में बोलना चाहिए ना जी.
सरकार मैम कह रही है कि जांच चल रही है.
अरे क्या जांच चल रही है? दुनिया में, हिंदुस्तान में कितनी जांचें चल रही है? जांच खत्म नहीं होती क्या? कुंभ में जो अभी चल रहा है उसमें जांच की जरूरत है. आप देखिए ना, आप लोगों के पास सारी तस्वीरें आ रही होंगी. जो दलदल में लोग फंस गए हैं उनको बाहर निकाल रहे हैं.
और ये भी सुनाई दे रहा है कि पोस्टमार्टम भी नहीं हो रहा है.
अरे बाबा, पोस्टमार्टम का सवाल नहीं है. डेड बॉडीज को उठा के पानी में डाल दिया है. पानी में डाल दिया. कंटामिनेटेड नहीं है वो वाटर. और जल शक्ति के ऊपर हम लोग भाषण दे रहे हैं हाउस में.
In fact, Jaya Bachchan has even questioned that how can crores of people visit the Mahakumbh? It is too large a number and so many people can't gather in one place at any given point of time. So these are direct allegations by Samajwadi Party MP Jaya Bachchan against the centre, where she says that facts are not being put out by the government on Mahakumbh and even the tragedy that had occurred. Let's listen in once again.
Well, आप लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट यही है कि एटलीस्ट you all are the last hope for the आम आदमी in this country. Please do something. Talk about it. ये सब बेकार की बातें, जल शक्ति और ये सब जो बात कर रहे हैं, contaminated water, सबसे ज़्यादा contaminated water.
What is your demand on Kumbh?
अरे सच तो बताइए लोगों को कि कुंभ में क्या हुआ है, वो तो बताइए. सदन में बोलना चाहिए ना जी.
सरकार मैम कह रही है कि जांच चल रही है.
अरे क्या जांच चल रही है? दुनिया में, हिंदुस्तान में कितनी जांचें चल रही है? जांच खत्म नहीं होती क्या? कुंभ में जो अभी चल रहा है उसमें जांच की जरूरत है. आप देखिए ना, आप लोगों के पास सारी तस्वीरें आ रही होंगी. जो दलदल में लोग फंस गए हैं उनको बाहर निकाल रहे हैं.
और ये भी सुनाई दे रहा है कि पोस्टमार्टम भी नहीं हो रहा है.
अरे बाबा, पोस्टमार्टम का सवाल नहीं है. डेड बॉडीज को उठा के पानी में डाल दिया है. पानी में डाल दिया. कंटामिनेटेड नहीं है वो वाटर. और जल शक्ति के ऊपर हम लोग भाषण दे रहे हैं हाउस में.
Time now for a short commercial break. On the other side, we get you details as BJP, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are in war mode. Delhi entering its last day of campaigning.
Ja, ich bitte. איזה עלוב ששרדת. איזה עלוב ששרדת, אבא. עלוב.
אתם אלופות.
וואו, עלוב. זה מרגש. רגע, בוא ניתן לשיר לחבק אותו ולדי לחבק אותו. שיר רוצה לחבק אותך? אימוש! אמא!
אפשר להתחיל.
עכשיו, מה נשמע? שלוש תתעלף לנו לי.
Good afternoon and thank you for staying tuned. I'm Suesha Samant as we continue to get you all that is making news from Rahul Gandhi's reply in the Parliament to the last day of campaigning in the national capital, where it is the Congress, the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP at loggerheads. That and much more in this edition. First, a quick check of the headlines we're tracking. Lok Sabha LOP replies on motion of thanks. Rahul Gandhi makes big claim, says army deferred Prime Minister Modi on China. He further said that China is leading in production because of how Make in India failed.
Purpose which you have mentioned, you must specify it.
So, I'm sorry that disturbed you, that question. I apologize for...
Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju counters Rahul Gandhi, saying LOP is not serious and he must apologize for his remarks.
This is the mindset of, generally this is the mindset of extreme left. And now Congress, I don't know why, being a nationalist party, Congress was designated as a nationalist party, but they are following the route of extreme left.
BJP takes on Congress after it forms panel to oversee the Election Commission. Is Congress conceding even before Delhi votes? PM Modi to reply on President's address tomorrow at 5 p.m. and in Rajya Sabha on Thursday. BJP, AAP, Congress in war mode as Delhi enters last day of campaigning.
दिल्ली की डेमोग्राफी बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठियों के कारण और रोहिंग्यान्स के कारण बदल रही है, जो कि एक खतरे की सूचक है।
JNU releases report on infiltration threat in Delhi. BJP says AAP allowed illegal influx to change demographics. Reports suggest that a former army personnel has succumbed to his injuries after sustaining gunshot wounds in his stomach. His wife and daughter have also suffered injuries on their legs. Unfortunate news coming in on the Kulgam terror attack, where we are awaiting an official statement from the army, but reports suggest that a former army personnel succumbed to his injuries after he sustained gunshots on his stomach. Zeenat joining us live with further details. Zeenat, over to you.
Suesha, I'm reporting from Kulgam. This is the very spot which takes you to the attack site. In fact, one can see this post attack. Now we see that the frisking of the vehicle is taking place. People are being stopped. The vehicles are being frisked. Even the identities are being questioned. So the Indian Army is monitoring, along with Jammu and Kashmir Police, the entire area of the Kulgam. As per what we are picking from our sources, the details that are emerging now, this is he has worked with the TA unit of Indian Army, which is a territorial unit, but he was a retired army personnel. He, along with his wife and daughter, got injured in this very attack, although he has succumbed to the injuries that we are picking after sustaining gunshot wounds to the stomach, and his daughter and wife sustained leg injuries, and they are being treated at the district hospital, though they've been shifted to Anantnag district. The attack took place in Kulgam, and from here they were first given the first aid and later shifted to Anantnag district. This is coming after a month-long lull in Kulgam. Previously, a month earlier, the 5 terrorists were neutralized by intelligence agencies along with J&K police and Indian Army in Kulgam, and finally we see that lull has broken after a terrorist carried an attack here in Kulgam. Although in all interiors and the exteriors, we see now that the deployment of the soldiers in number has been increased. The vehicles, mobile vehicles have been stationed to see that every person who is entering or exiting from the district is being questioned or being frisked, because as per the inputs suggest, they have also launched the cordon and search operations in the Kulgam district. The attack took place almost an hour before, when the 3 of the family members received the gunshot wounds just outside the residence. This person who has been identified as Manzoor Ahmed Wage, he was an ex-soldier, has worked with territorial unit, and was with his wife and daughter when the terrorists barged and they fired at him from a point-blank range. With the result, he received the critical gunshot wounds. He sustained stomach-related injuries. He was evacuated along with the 2 other family members, but Manzoor succumbed to the injuries. This is the terror attack that has taken place in Kulgam. This is South Kashmir, although the Kulgam has seen a history where majority of the operations were carried by the joint forces in 2024. Majority of the operations, the body blow to the different terror outfits this time had come from Kulgam in 2024. But with this 2025, the first terror attack in the Kashmir Valley and that too in Kulgam has come at a time when people have been busy with the harsh winters and the bone-chilling wind, and terrorists managed to escape. That's what we're picking. But at the same time, terrorists showed their presence on ground in Bihbag area in Kulgam, where they targeted the ex-soldier who was accompanied by the family, and he lost his life in the terror attack, and 2 of his family members are still being treated at the medical facility. The other relatives have already reached to the residence of Waqf, where one can see the wailing of their loved ones. But meanwhile, the scenes that are coming from the Kulgam district, where you see the soldiers, they are doing the frisking of the vehicles. The vehicles are being thoroughly checked. All locals and the outside people are being questioned. This is a SOP, the standard operation procedure, the drill that is usually carried by the soldiers when this kind of attacks are witnessed. People are being questioned. Even the private and the commercial vehicles are being stopped. The identity of the people on board is being questioned. Overall, we see that the CASO has been launched, and also they are trying to see that whosoever carried this terror attack is being nabbed or neutralized, although the security forces still now has not got any success. Only that the CASO is on, and also the details more will be emerging in some time from now. Once the dead body of the Waqf reach to the residence, then the medical conditions of the 2 family members, and also what the kind of breakthrough will be in the case of Waqf. The first terror attack of 2025 is coming from Kulgam district in South Kashmir.
All right, Zeenat, many thanks for getting us the latest. Of course, we'll keep coming back to you for further details on the investigation. Moving on, as the Congress on Sunday set up an 8-member committee empowered action group of leaders and experts to monitor the conduct of free and fair elections by the Election Commission of India. Getting you the latest responses that are coming in from the CPI, which has rallied behind the Congress in such a move.
तो कह ही रहे हैं, लेकिन हमसे पहले जनता कह रही है कि जितने इलेक्शन हैं सब रिग हो रहे हैं मोदी जी के पिछले कुछ इलेक्शंस में, और सब चाहते हैं कि बैलेट पेपर से हो। तो हमारी ये कमेटी इसलिए बनी गई है कि वो ऑब्जर्वर से लेके किस तरह से फंक्शनिंग होता है। इन लोग दे आर नॉट विलिंग टू शेयर देयर प्रीवियस 6 months old वोटर लिस्ट एंड द न्यू वन। कैन यू इमेजिन? That is public property. It should be shared.
So, Mr. Javed, now what the issue is that you have been stating that there are malpractices,
yes,
which